It sounded like a lovely, lovely program with nothing to worry about. You know, an anti-bullying program, helping kids with depression. You know, it sounded lovely, but I actually had looked under the covers and had discovered that it's actually not all that. It's not all that. I reckon it was about roughly 8 weeks. They had introduced the cross-dressing in science. So the role monitor, according to my son, the role monitor had come around with a note for the science teacher to read out, and it went along the lines of, you know, congratulations students on your uniform compliance for 2015. However, in 2016 you can wear the uniform of your choice. So for me, I knew, because I'd looked at the Safe Schools Coalition program, that was introducing the cross-dressing. And he says, Mum, I forgot to tell you the other day, school told me that I can wear a dress next year if I feel like it. So I sat him down and I said, are you sure? Are you absolutely sure that that was read out in science? He says, yes, Mum. I said, you've got to be positive, because this is going to be probably the turning point where we might need to leave the school. And he said, yeah, it absolutely happened. And yeah, I can wear a dress next year if I like. I know my son best, like all parents know their children best. He lacks the capacity to understand certain things, and this would be one of them. The cross-dressing would be one of them. Yeah. So I thought I'd contact the school. I wrote a letter and the principal responded and said, come in for an education meeting. Throughout the education meeting at the high school, we were talking about the bathroom policies, the change room facilities, you know, the kids getting changed, what the policies, how they were going to change there, and also the camp facilities, the camp sleeping quarters pretty much, the changing policies there, because Safe Schools encourages the sharing. You know, you follow your feelings. If you're a boy that feels like a girl, then you use the girls' facilities. If you're a girl that feels like a boy, you use the boys' facilities. I've also got a younger daughter who's got an eye condition, so it renders her day blind, so her vision's very, very poor. Yeah, they call it day blind, it's achromatopsia. And that would mean that she's sharing facilities, bathroom facilities, with a member of the opposite sex. And you know, she doesn't see male genitals at home, so why would I send her to school possibly to see male genitals at school? I just don't think that that's appropriate. And you know, it could mean that she'd be in year 7 and a year 12 boy might walk in. I mean, that's frightening to me. I'm not saying that the boy's going to attack her or anything like that, but it's who would know where it leads? You just don't know. You don't know how far this is all going to go. Busy parents need to look at this. They can't not look at it. It's warping their child's way of thinking. Potentially it is, it really is. They need to look under the covers of the program. They also need to look at Safe Schools Coalition and -18. Now, my school told me I wasn't allowed to ask any questions about -18 because it's not part of the Safe School Coalition program. I disagree. It's very much part of the Safe Schools Coalition program. Safe Schools refers students all the time to -18. So when you're looking at Safe Schools Coalition, you are also looking at -18 without a doubt. Now, this is where they'll learn breast binding, penis tucking, And when I was going through this with my school last year, at the bottom of the breast binding page was about 5 or 6 links. Now these links were adult website links, and the worst one that I could see was the tool shed. It was called the tool shed, and it was where children could log on and look at or purchase adult content like, sex aids, dildos, strap-ons, you name it. Filthy, absolutely filthy. And I'm still waiting for the person to be held accountable for putting those links on a youth website. These kids are meant to be, the kids that are referred to minus 18 are under 18. They're youth, they're our youth, Australian youth. And I'm still waiting for the person to be held accountable who put those links on there. Have they been there since 2010 when they first piloted the program? When I approached the school, they did tell me that there was no opt-out. They said that it's actually interwoven throughout the curriculum. So you can be in textiles, you can be in maths, you can be in science, English, wherever. And the teacher is encouraged to inject some of the Safe Schools curriculum into the class wherever possible. So essentially we had to leave the school because there was no way out, and I just completely disagree with most things in the Safe Schools Coalition. It's not for us, it's not for our family. I'll teach my kids respect and how to be kind, along with the normal anti-bullying programs at school. They're not mean, they're not nasty, and this is just an excuse to sexualise children within school hours without their parents' consent. Most people think that you have to be religious to have any concerns about the Safe School Coalition. It's not so. I'm not of any religious affiliation. I just feel so violated because I handed in a non-permission to the school and they overrode it. Now, I really wanted an opt-out. I was asking for an opt-out. Much the same as you would with religious education. I wanted an opt-out because I just figure if as a parent you deem it harmful, why would you send them to school to learn it? I can't send my kids to school to be abused. That's how I felt. It was a complete violation. Well, it was introduced as an anti-bullying program, I think, to get past maybe the education department, I don't know, but it's actually not. I did go to the education, I've been to the education department twice. The first time to meet 2 representatives that wanted to hear my concerns about the Safe Schools, and the second time to meet Ros Ward, the architect of the Safe School Coalition. And each time I was told that it isn't an anti-bullying program, it is a sexual and gender diversity program. Their own words, that's what they said. I've met a family where their child came home from school one day and he was beside himself, and it took about a week to settle down. But he actually, through doing role play, through the Safe Schools role playing, he actually thought he was gay, and he was saying to his parents, I wasn't aware that I was gay, and he was sort of around the house distressed. At the end of the day, I just want the best for my children, like any other parent. This is why we had to leave the school, to escape the Safe Schools Coalition program. I think there's many other ways that you can teach kids to be kind, respectful, tolerant, diverse, inclusive. It can be done in the home, and it can be done at school, and it can be done with a true anti-bullying program without the sexualisation of children. without LGBT activism, I would call it, within the school. I did raise that too with Frankston High School. I do believe there's another agenda attached to this. It's not all about anti-bullying, you know, each to their own. But for me and my family, I say no. And a lot of parents are saying no. It's not just a pause. I don't want just a pause on it. I want to stop. It's not appropriate for kids.